I think today we should use the time to talk about the season and recap the season, and not get into the U.S. coaching search.
Greg, despite the result last night, competed once again at a high level in these MLS Cup playoffs. What can you say about the competitive nature of the team to come out and work hard every day and fight every match?
Well, I think first and foremost, I'm proud of the guys. We're certainly disappointed, bitterly disappointed with the result last night. Also disappointed with our performance. I think we could have performed at a higher level, but I'm proud of the guys for the way they came together all year and the way they pushed and worked towards common goals. And it's not easy. MLS is a difficult league, and the guys, came together at a good time and proved that we can be a really good team.
What did you learn? What was it like to navigate this season, and what do you take from it as you?
So I talked about that.
Move on to bigger things.
Well, I talked about that with the team today, and I said, listen, we're all going to be stronger for this. We're all going to be better for this. And remember this year, remember what we went through, but also remember, what it took. And by saying that, it's focus. We never got ahead of ourselves. We focused on every day, and we tried to improve every single day, and we tried to control the things that we can control. And that was it.
Was it a good lesson in, I don't know about team building, but just keeping the team on task and somehow ignore what's going on around?
Yeah, I think team management and individual management, and the guys having to manage themselves and their families and their emotion. And overall, again, I think the group's stronger.
Proud days serving here? Proud of your tenure here?
What are we talking
Can't
about?
We just reflect on the 5 years?
Why reflect?
4 trips to the playoffs, I believe.
I would say that you work hard every single year. You never know what the outcomes are going to be every single year, but you put everything into it, and you hope that you're improving, and you hope that you're putting a product out there that you're proud of.
Did you get everything out of this team that you? I guess you didn't, because you didn't get as far as you wanted, right?
No, I look at this last part as a failure, to be honest, because I really believed in this group. I really believe what we could do together. I think we're in a good position to achieve more, and we didn't. And so from that standpoint, I don't think any of us, you guys talk to the players. I don't think we're happy. We're not satisfied. We wanted more.
What did New York do differently last night?
They man-marked Federico as a starting point. They moved their central midfielders a little bit higher in pressure, right? But it did open space for us, and that's what we didn't exploit well enough. And we didn't really have the calm, we didn't have the poise to put the ball on the ground and say, okay, this is happening, this is what we'll do. And that's what I missed. Of course, there's always going to be the competitive element when you play Red Bull. You're going to have to compete, you're going to have to get into duels. But then there's moments where we could have been more calm. And we just weren't. And listen, it was an off day by us, and we didn't deserve to win that game.
Did that surprise you? I mean, given what the high you guys were coming off of from last week and whatnot?
A little bit. But listen, I think this is soccer. I give Red Bull a lot of credit for the way they played, for their determination. And it happens. It happens sometimes. We're not any less of a team. I just think on this day, it wasn't our best night.
When you look at the season as a whole, what positive trends do you think stand out in terms of development of the group?
I think there were a lot of positives to take. When I think about our collective defending, I think was good for the most part all year. I still think we executed our style in most of the games. I think we were able to adapt in some other the games. Overall, I think it was a season of less swings, of less big swings. I think we stayed even-keeled throughout the season. And the guys did a great job of managing through adversity, as we talked about before.
You spoke about the character of the team last night. 2 players that come to mind are Jossie and Gaston. What can you say about their character as professionals to come back and have great seasons?
I think both of those guys, Jossie was awarded Comeback Player of the Year, but Gaston, was also an incredible story about a guy who came back from a severe knee injury that they're thinking about. He may not be playing anymore to performing in the playoffs at the level he did. It says a lot. And then Jossie, coming into this group, he gave us, people talk about what we gave him, but I look at it the other way around. I think what he gave us is a guy who would, in that position, is very rare that you have a striker sacrifice the way he sacrifices for the team. And, he's a great example of, how determination and work ethic can get you a long way.
Every year there's turnover, but is this a group of core guys that you think can stick around for another year and make another run at it?
Yeah, listen, I think like any off season, it started today, and our job is to get better. Our job is to improve, and we'll be looking at the roster and seeing areas where we can improve and addressing that. And there are a core group of guys that have played well together, have been together, and know the way we play. But we want to improve as well.
People mentioned when you get to the playoffs, these days in MLS, you need that higher quality to really make a run. Do you see it that way, and do you think that that's an off-season goal, I guess, to add guys that can really step up?
I think what he probably was referring to is when you're playing in tight games, there's very little that makes the difference in these games. You look at some of these high-level games, and there's small moments that define the game. And generally, in tighter games, the quality is what can make the difference.
You talked about improvement. What improvement did you see from some of the young players on this roster from season start to season finish?
I think we did a good job. We had a young team. We played the third youngest team in the league, or second youngest team in the league this year. And I think we did a good job this year bringing our young guys along. When you think about Milton, when you think about Zach Steffen, you think about Artur, Lalas, Luis Argudo, those are just some names that come to mind. But I think they've all progressed and they've all improved this year.
Is Milton a guy that you expect to be a permanent player for the crew at some point?
I would say so, yes.
Is there a lot of work that needs to be done to make that happen?
No.
You've always focused on the day-to-day and the next little thing, and from the very first time you were here, or the first day that you got here, does that feel any different for you right now? Is it harder to know what the next little thing is going to be?
No, I think it's right now the work, there's option deadlines, there's roster planning, that's work in itself. So, I think, the goal is very similar. You focus on, how you get better.
All those deadlines, those planning things, those off-season things, are those all things that you'll be doing regardless of what happens in the next couple of weeks?
Yes.
And if this is goodbye,
Here we go. Here we go.
can I kiss you on the
What did you take out of this season personally? Like, the guys were talking about what a tough season this was to stay focused and all that. How do you feel you grew as a coach?
That's a good question. I don't think I can appropriately reflect on it right now, but I certainly have grown as a coach. I think when you talk about roller coasters, or you talk about deep emotional swings with a group, you have to be even keeled. You have to manage through it, and that's something that, as I reflect on, will probably be the most telling. Is how to keep the group even keeled through through these emotional swings.
Assuming you go back next year, what does this offseason look like for you and kind of planning for next year?
I think very similar to every offseason. It's working with the scouts. We have targets identified. It's going out and executing those targets. I think it's looking at our game model, how we can improve our game model, thinking about the training methods. Preseason's pretty much already planned, so that's there already. Just looking at our organization and seeing where we can get better.
With the prospective change in ownership group, how does that change that equation for you?
I don't know yet, to be honest. I think there'll be conversations, and we'll work through it.
With all of it seems like you've made a lot of long-term decisions, long-term strategy, planning in your time here. Is the idea, between academy, structure, all that stuff, is the idea to leave this, whether it's this year or next year or the year after, whatever, to leave it better than you found it, to put something in place that lasts longer than you?
I think that's what everyone's trying to do, right? And I think structure in a club is very important, and I think that's what can sustain the organization. What I'll say is that, just like any player who comes here and then happens to leave here, right? You still want to be able to succeed if that player is gone, and it's the same with coaches. It's the same with other staff members. You want this thing to be able to stand, even if an individual's not there.
Do the guys head into the offseason informed? I mean, regardless, one way or the other. This is the last time you're going to see some of them for a few weeks, or at least. Did that conversation happen today?
Yeah, we talked about the off season. We talked about our plans. We talked about schedule off-season workouts. We talked about when we're going to be back in town. So yeah, they're very well informed.
Going to Europe, I understand?
Yeah, in a couple hours.
We'll miss you.
So what's the topic if you're talking Barcelona?
It's about coaching, decision making in game, how it can change the dynamics of a match.
Come full circle, huh? Just, what was it, 5 years ago you were in Barcelona learning from
Yeah.
them, and now you're giving a presentation?
There you go. Now, it'll be good. It will be good also to learn from the other coaches there and be able to pick their brains and hear the information presented.